Caleb, I've got rentals in my personal name. Should I transfer those to an LLC? Doesn't that help reduce liability? Can I do that? Also, does it increase the risk of due on sale? Should I be worried about that? Let's explore that question.
We have 3 properties that we thought about quit claiming into our new LLCs.
You really have to ask yourself, what's the reason for putting it in an LLC? If you're looking to limit liability, then it makes sense because there's a payoff in the form of reduced liability risk. As long as your LLCs are properly maintained and the doctrine of merger, like piercing the corporate veil of protection, you have to do your annual meeting minutes, you have to have separate bank accounts and act like it's a separate entity. If you don't act like it's a separate entity, then you're not getting any extra protection by dropping it in an LLC. And you are increasing the risk of due on sale scrutiny. But if it was deeded to your personal name and you're deeding it from you to your own LLC, the risk of due on sale is minimal. It's very simple to go back and correct that, especially if you are 100% owner of that LLC. And a lot of times they may not even pursue it once you can show them that you own 100% of that LLC. So 2 are rentals, 1 is our home. If it was asset protection and limitation of liability against a slip and fall at one property being able to force you to sell another property to pay a claim, that makes sense. But if it's in your personal name, can you just get an umbrella policy? Like an umbrella liability policy that it goes over top of the current property insurance and liability protection? That'll probably do it. A lot of times that's the simpler solution. Up to 5 properties, up to 10 properties, depends on your risk tolerance. But if the properties don't have a ton of equity, and you can just throw in a liability policy on top, like an umbrella, that'll solve the same problem. Assuming that's what you wanted to, that's what you were after.
Okay, yeah. No, the one does have a lot of equity in it,
Okay.
and it's rented right now, but it won't be after September.
Okay.
No, it's the one. The other two, well, they have some equity. The one does.
There's also an equity stripping, something called equity stripping, which is where you place additional liens. Now, again, that can be pierced, but you're trying to look less attractive. So if you have the one with equity and you place another lien on it for most of its equity, borrowing money. Some people do this without actually borrowing money between their LLCs. And so it looks like it has no equity because the public record shows a huge debt, even though you didn't actually transfer funds. If they discover that, they will pierce it and with prejudice basically against you though. So that's where like a HELOC can come in. If you can get a HELOC and actually place an encumbrance on it, that makes it less attractive as well. We're trying not to be the lowest hanging fruit to an attorney who's out for blood. But one last thing, you will not accomplish anonymity by transferring from your personal name to an LLC that you own. If anonymity was the name of the game, you're not going to win.
So what would we do with those 2 properties? Just keep them in our name? I mean, I know you're not a lawyer.
Yeah, I would. If it was me, so as a consultant, if that were me, I've been in that situation too. I have not moved a property out of my personal name that's a rental into an LLC. It doesn't accomplish anything. Good insurance is what accomplishes the protection that I needed in the first place.
Okay, so moving forward, maybe just purchase the homes with the LLCs and keep them completely separate from our name. And that's that.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Caleb.